So let's speak a little bit about conflict and maybe disagreeing or having a heated conversation, maybe you like to call it. You know, is it wrong to have an argument? Is it wrong to shout at each other? Is that the godly way to deal with issues and things we disagree on? Is there a better way?
I'm not sure I'm the best one to talk about it because I hate conflict. So I'm really trying to keep peace, but that's also not working. I mean, you can do it in a healthy way, but you can also do it in a fear-based way. So I remember, especially the first years, I was really actually afraid to confront him with things or to even speak against what he said, because I thought that's not submission. I tend to be afraid, or I think afraid is maybe just the right word. It's not nice, but it is there. If I have people who are like with authority figures in my life, then I think because I had my mom who was like the boss in our home, you know, and then whenever I would say something which she didn't like, she wouldn't talk for 3 days to me. And I think somewhere I took that with me in the marriage, thinking if I say something he doesn't like, he might not talk to me for 3 days. Well, he was not my mom, you know. So we fill in our minds because we take something with us. But I think, I mean, everyone is different, you know. Some people do yell more than others. And some people are more quiet than others. I don't think there's a good or a bad way. I think we need to really check in our hearts, what are our motives? Do I do this to push him down, or do I do this because I really want to get everything on the table? And it can be, I mean, I'm just normally crying. When we have a conflict, I'm just the one crying. And I always say, don't mind my tears, they just come, but we need to talk about stuff, you know? So I'm not the one yelling. I could, but maybe I just don't dare. And I don't even know what my motives are. But I think everyone has a different way in communicating and having a conflict with each other. So I don't think there's a good or a bad way, but I think the underline in that, we need to really check, why do I do this? Because sometimes we build on the wrong foundation, which is already rotten. And then on top of that, we keep on building, and then there's so much frustration built up on that. And we don't know the hearts of each other anymore. And then we start yelling and we start accusing and we start hitting with words. And I think that's just it's not going to reach the goal. It's not going to help. So I think once we settle, so when we had that talk, like after 7-8 years of being married, when we realized this is not going to work, now we need to decide what do we want? Do we go for it or not? So what we decided, which actually changed our marriage, we decided at that point, we said to each other, listen, I might say or do stuff which comes over like I'm against you, but I'm going to tell you now, once and for all, my heart is for you. And we just settled that, both of us. We settled it, and that's also the choice, what I say also to the ladies. If you once and for all decide for yourself, this is the husband the Lord gave me, then that's your foundation. And then you just know, the Lord put us together, we're going to work this through.
And you know, like the one thing, even in my marriage with Josh, there's many times we disagree, and you know, you want to be heard or you want to be right. But I think marriage is one of the most humbling things you can do, because you really can't stay about yourself. And you really learn it's not about who's right or being right. And I've really learned that peace and unity is more important than me being right or him being right. And there's so many times I've walked away from a disagreement going, I know he's wrong, but I'm just going to let him be right in this discussion. And it's been so amazing, because first you feel so humbled, because everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to be heard in our flesh. But when I do, and I go and pray about it, I just have this amazing sense of the Holy Spirit surround me even though I didn't get my point across, he didn't apologize to me. But peace became my mission.
Exactly, that's the mission together. Yeah.
Together and in that discussion. And peace was more important than who was heard or who was right. And every time I've walked away, even though I felt I was right, or my way was the better option, but we didn't decide upon that or agree upon that. But I walked away and going, cool. And I took it to the Lord and I went, Lord, he's wrong. You know, like, I let the Lord have it. Like, Lord, like, seriously, speak to him, because I cannot speak to him. And even though it's just raw and real and it's not the perfect prayer, it's just amazing. Like, I can't even describe it well enough to you, how I just have this wraparound presence immediately around me. And it's just amazing. Every time I go to God after an argument or a disagreement, and I pray about it and I give it to him, the way that argument or that disagreement gets resolved is always supernatural.
It is. It is.
When I phone a friend and I need to go for a coffee, or I need to go out and just go clear my head and just do shopping, whatever, you know, you kind of just stew. You get more mad. And we're not designed to go outside of the marriage to go and resolve our issues. We're designed to go to God. And I always find those arguments and disagreements, it's very important what your next step is.
Absolutely, but also how you walk out.
Yeah.
Because that's also, I think, I've so many times I wanted to share my heart with someone, and I would go to someone and tell them everything my husband did wrong.
Yeah.
And deep down in my heart, I don't want anyone to say anything wrong about him.
Yeah.
It's fine to listen, but please then get it out of your head. You know, so that actually taught me, just don't do it anymore.
Exactly.
It's not going to work.
Yep.
Because, I mean, women we just like to, if I come to you and say what my husband all did and how nasty it is and how bad it made me feel, and you come and say, oh, what a man, that's nasty, that would make me look even worse and look down on him. It's not going to help. So of course, I whenever I have talk with women and they tell me how the husband, I can feel with them, but I try to stay away from saying anything nasty about the husband, because it's not going to help you in any way if I go in that. I think we need someone to listen and then say, okay, what does the Lord say? How does the Lord see him?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he's a child of God, That's how we need to look at each other, not in the flesh. Because in the flesh, I look at him in the flesh and my flesh comes out, and then all the nasty stuff is out there.